Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1,000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It's my first.
If you're new to the force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today we are covering Season 3, Episode 6, Homecoming, and as always, we start by popping a recap. Stringer Bell gets an education in construction management. Bunk uses shoe leather to catch up with Omar and deliver a searing message. A frustrated Colvin unleashes the troops on the Corner Boys, ignoring his new edict. Oh, sorry, the Corner Boys ignoring his new edict. The comma was there, which is why I paused. So the dangling modifier, participle, whatever. Anyway, Avon sends Cuddy and Slim Charles against Marlo. Bubbles refocuses the picture for Greg's. Donette receives Brianna's blessing of her hookup with Stringer, and lets slip that McNulty visited about Dee. Daniels keeps up the front of marriage to Marla as she pursues a new career at City Hall. McNulty backdoors Daniels with a visit to Colvin, and Burrell hears from the mayor that he should take Baltimore's rising body count very personally. The episode was written by Rafael Alvarez. This is his third episode writing for The Wire, and it was directed by Leslie Libman, who, this is her first time directing an episode, but she did multiple episodes on Homicide, which is the spiritual predecessor to The Wire.
Oh.
So, and it premiered on October 4th, 2004.
Nice.
All right. Well, Ellie, please bust out that epigraph.
Just a gangster, I suppose.
Just a gangster.
From Avon Barksdale.
Just like Ellie.
Yeah, right. Not so hard.
That's right. Yeah, you are. All right. Well, just an interesting connection point. Both the Just a Gangster and Homecoming played a role throughout the episode, so we'll touch on that quite a bit, I'm sure. So before we start, did want to ask, and before we get to your predictions, I did want to ask if you had any initial thoughts, because I have a few.
I like this episode a lot. Just again, the pieces are coming together and storylines are getting woven together. I had to think very critically about how I shared the different storylines because one is starting to lead into another now. So I love that. I love that Brianna is back. Yeah. And that's got me curious. Yep. So, yeah. Yep.
Perhaps tying into a previous prediction that you made last season.
Right.
So, okay, well, I did have one that I needed your counsel on, Ellie.
Okay.
Now, hopefully this is a mini life lesson for people.
Okay.
So first of all, in rewatching this, I was actually kind of shocked at how much there was in this episode.
Yeah.
We'll obviously go into more detail, but Cuddy getting out of the game was one that I thought was later in the season. McNulty going... Sorry, you're distracted.
Go ahead. Sorry about that. Somebody's trying to ask me for a ride somewhere with their eyeballs, and I'm trying to eyeball back to them. No.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Did the eyes look like they were saying no?
A little bit.
Okay.
This is going to be a good outtake.
Yeah.
Okay. In any case, McNulty getting basically the crew onto Marlo and Avon, that the drug war there. Avon kind of going through, the hits on Marlo. Just a lot that went into this episode, I think, really just caught me off guard. And then in that there was so much substance. And the point is that as I was thinking about this episode, this is both kind of the actual, but also I feel like the spiritual halfway point for the season, but also the halfway point for the series in general, as a whole. And so it just feels, for me, this is where I need your counsel, is that, we are now closer to the end of our podcast, this podcast series, than we are to the beginning.
Whoa, that's weird to think about.
It feels very strange for me because I do not have nearly the number of, creative endeavors where I have put my name on something, and yet Ellie is very accomplished in this area. So I was just kind of wanted to understand from your perspective. You've gone through this many times before, I'm sure, where you put something out into the world and you're like closer to the end than you are to the beginning.
Yes.
And how does that feel? Because I'm sure the ideas that you work on are a long time coming. So
yes. Well, most of the time I'm so freaking sick and tired of it, but I'm actually happy to see it being done with. It's kind of,
I could not have said it better. I am so
I just can't. But this, this could go on for me. I really enjoy this so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because we don't have outside editorial influence telling us what to do or not to do or what to change. So it really could just be, whatever creativity we bring into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is weird though to think about we're more than halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess technically speaking, last episode was the actual
Is the
halfway
actual
point.
halfway point?
Yeah, there are 60 episodes total. So,
Oh, wow.
or might not. Actually, I got to recount. I think that's wrong. But in any case,
Damn.
yeah. But okay. Well, yeah. I think that it's for me and in particular. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Like Ellie, I'm so grateful to you because you wanted to do this with me. This is a passion project that I had since 2020. I think really, or maybe even earlier than that. And so for you to go on this journey with me and help me bring this to life, I'm just grateful to you for that. So
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It's been super fun.
It's very fun.
Okay, well, great. All right, well, let us get into your predictions for last episode. You did quite well.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Number 1, they will find a home for the little old lady. Did that.
Okay.
So, good job, Colvin, and good job to Ellie.
Yay.
Cuddy, boom, right on the money. Going to have to do one more really shitty thing before he hits rock bottom.
Yeah.
100% got that. In fact, he did 2 shitty things,
Well,
but still,
yes.
that's pretty good. There will be some more Omar. So you got that.
Okay.
A little bit of the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So I'll give you half credit for that. Marlo tooling up will go after some Barksdale guys. Now he was. I think you get credit for this because even though Marlo didn't go on offense, they were ready.
Yep.
And they did their thing. So
All right.
yep.
I'll take a little credit.
Bunk will not get anything in the next episode. So again, got that. Good job. Hamsterdam, things will keep going well. Yes, indeed. Did see that. But you did also have Burrells and Rawls will find out and not be happy. They did not find out this episode.
Right.
Carcetti and Gray. Gray is going to get involved with whatever's happening with Burrell, which I'm giving you credit for because Gray is getting involved.
He's getting involved, not necessarily with Burrell.
Yeah, but he's seeing the tea leaves the way that you laid out some of you. McNulty will sleep with D'Agostino one more time. No, unfortunately
Didn't happen.
Not, so it didn't happen there. So. Okay.
All right.
So there are I've got a couple of references from Alan Sepinwall and All the Pieces Matter.
Okay.
So I'll be sprinkling those in. Any other questions before we get started?
No.
Well, let's go then.
Let's do it. I've got 5 storylines here for you guys. Baghdad and Businessmen. Hamsterdam Heats Up. Carcetti lays the groundwork. Bunk is back. And Kima and McNulty's Workaround.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Let's start with Baghdad and Businessmen, Stringer and Avon. They are finding out that some property development they're working on is going to cost more than anticipated and be delayed due to various factors. Krawcheck's there. He repeatedly tells Stringer it's due to these modifications that he's made. Avon chimes in that it looks like they are the ones who are at fault and who should absorb the overages, but Krawcheck tries to tell him it's the nature of the business and that they should meet later over lunch to talk about it more, but Avon has better things to do. He is really not into this. He's not even going to wear a hard hat in the location because this is so not his scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been fun to watch, seeing Avon kind of fish out of water, right?
I know, right? Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, I don't disagree with him though. They should absorb the
right.
that it is just like the nature of the business is just not acceptable to Avon because that would never happen in the kind of line of work that he does.
Exactly. And they're right away just a gangster, I suppose, right?
Yes.
That's not how gangsters do things. So
right from the top.
Yep.
Okay. Avon's checking out what is left of his territory. He's disappointed that they don't have corners anymore. And he asks about a particular corner and why they don't have that one anymore. And Stringer tries to tell him about it, but then Avon says he wants Slim Charles to tell him instead. Slim Charles is the muscle. You tell me about it. So Slim Charles tells them that they had that corner until Marlo came along and took it from them by force. Mm-hmm. He explains that Marlo's this young guy who is running things on his own. And throughout this, Avon is pretty disgusted by the state of affairs. It's like he feels like he left and things got completely messed up. And now he's got to come back and set everything to right. In the meantime, Stringer's in the back seat and he looks just super annoyed with Avon's inability to get with the new program. Kind of like he is having to, placate Avon a little bit, but also just kind of take this slow road to sort of getting him to see things his way, and it's not working.
Man, we ain't got fed and popular neither. What the fuck?
I'm working on it, man, in the Avenue corners, too.
What you mean you working on it, man? Why we ain't at least got a shop set up down the block?
We did.
It was a setback.
Ran our boys off.
Who?
Just some player, man.
Listen, let him tell me. We hiring for muscle.
Boy Marlo.
Marlo, who the fuck is Marlo? He tied into one of the mobs?
Young boy. Running on his own, too. Got maybe 15 spots along here and the avenue.
An independent with no fucking support. Got all the prime real estate and we doing what exactly? Young boy ran us off the corner? I'm losing my motherfucking mind, man.
Yeah, I took it a little bit more like Stringer knew what Avon was going to ask and Slim Charles was going to say, and he knew that he was just kind of almost like he was getting called to the carpet a little bit. So
that's true.
Yeah. I think for him he's definitely feeling a little bit more. I don't know if he's ashamed is the right word because I think that he still believes that he's doing the right thing.
Right.
So, but it was definitely a uncomfortable scene for Stringer. So,
yep.
I don't know. On Anwan Glover as Slim Charles, he's just.
He's great.
He's just got so much charisma and character.
Yes,
so,
he's great.
Yeah.
I really like his character.
Even that little move where he does the throat slit. Yeah. So anyway.
All right. Well, Stringer has a drink with Avon. He tells him to take a couple deep breaths and think about things. If he tries to go after the corners that Marlo has, there's going to be a war. And he lets him know that he will support him through that, of course. But then he also tries to convince him that they don't need to do that. He reminds Avon of the New Day deal that they have with Prop Joe. Tells him, just let the youngins worry about the retail. They're just going to take money off the top. And that there is lots and lots of money to take. You know, they can run things. They can run the whole city. You know, if they have enough legitimate avenues to launder that money that they get, the government can't come after them. But a couple times Avon repeats that, you know, oh yeah, we would be like businessmen, right? And you can see that he's not fond of that word, businessman, in the way that he says it. In the end, he says he's not a businessman. And that's where we hear the epigraph that he is just a gangster, he supposes, and that he wants his corners. And, you know, Stringer kind of looks just sort of disappointed and resigned that it's coming down to this. Yeah.
So, saying what the fuck?
Take a deep breath, man. I mean, take a long, deep breath. Know that if you call a shot, we at war. We at war. I'm there like I've always been. Think about turf, man. It ain't like it was.
I mean, you ain't got to pay no price of buying no corners.
Since when do we buy corners? We take corners.
Man, you gonna buy one way or another.
Whether it's with the bodies we don't lost.
Or you're gonna lose. Time in the joint is behind us or ahead of us. I mean, you gonna get some shit in this game, but ain't shit for free. I mean, how many corners do we need? How much money can a nigga make?
More than a nigga can spend.
And then we ain't gonna be around to spend what we done made already.
Shit, I didn't think I was gonna be around this long.
Yeah. Well, we here now. The fact is, we got every mob in town, east side, west side, ready to pull together. Share territory on that good shit that Pop Joe putting out there. We take that shit downtown and we get in a money game that niggas ain't going to jail. I mean, we passed that run and gun shit, man. Like, we finance a package and we ain't got to see nothing but bank. Nothing but cash. No corners, no territory, nothing. We make so much goddamn straight money, man. Government come after us, man. Ain't shit they could say.
Businessmen, huh?
Let the youngins worry about how to retail, where to wholesale. I mean, who gives a fuck who's standing on what corner if we taking that shit off the top, putting that shit to good use, making that shit work for us. We can run more than corners, B. Period. We could do like Little Willie, man, back in the day with all that number money. And run this goddamn city.
Like businessmen.
Man, just let me talk to the boy Marlo, see if I can't smooth this shit out. I mean, it ain't gonna be overnight, because the nigga only knows what he knows. But I think I could talk some sense in his head.
Yeah, I ain't no suit-wearing businessman like you. You know, I'm just a gangster, I suppose. And I want my corners.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the part that really resonated with me was that Stringer says he's going to talk to Marlo.
Yeah.
And he says, well, but he only knows what he knows.
Right.
And he doesn't realize that he's talking to Avon, and Avon only knows what he knows.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. You're so right about that. Yes.
So that
Avon just cannot see another way to
Right.
do this. He
Yeah.
just cannot think outside of the way that he has done things, the way that he has been successful thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's something else to it, which is Stringer says, you know, how much, what do you say, like how much can a man make? And
Right.
and then, you know, I think Avon says, I can't remember if it was the other way around, but in any case, more than a man can spend.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think there's something really interesting to that. And I think a lot about that when I think about current billionaires.
Yes.
Right? Just
my
like,
gosh.
why do people still try
Just
to
keep
make more
amassing
money?
money, yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, you know, whatever. We've got 12 listeners. They're all they're in it. But like like people that are like Elon Musk, you have $200 billion. Now, it's, you know, paper, whatever. I don't care. Like, you have $200 billion. Like, go fix every problem in the world instead of, I just can't understand it, but he's still trying to make more and more money.
I know.
Fighting for tax cuts and stuff like that. And, you know, you could say, well, but it's like, I don't care. Just go fix a bunch of problems.
Right.
But it's about getting the corners and, you know, whatever.
There can just never be enough.
I think that's right. I mean, it's like that Scarface line. So anyway, so that really resonated with me as well. So it's a very curious thing. And, you know, you think that you get to a point where you reach exit velocity, essentially, where you no longer have to do the same thing that you were doing to get you to a place of comfort, essentially, right? Avon is there. Stringer is there.
Yeah.
You know, they're working in new areas and new problems, but you're as Stringer's trying to lay out, you're no longer dealing with violence and illegal activity nearly as much,
Right.
or as closely. You could be in essentially a safe harbor, and yet Avon can't. That's not realize that's not at all what matters. So
Yeah.
anyway, so it's just to me, it's a really pivotal conversation, because you really do see that Avon coming back is more about establishing himself as what he once was, and not really thinking about the future anymore. So anyway.
Okay, well, Shamrock pops into Avon's office to tell him that Stringer will be late. And Avon, you know, just kind of does like a, don't even bother with that guy sort of motion.
Yeah.
You know how he tosses his arm. Anyways, he's talking to Slim Charles, who looks like he'd rather not break some bad news to Avon. They go through which soldiers are still around and available. We find out that Black Donnie is afraid of Muzone, excuse me. Peacock is working with the Dominicans. Eggy Mule's locked up. Shorty Boyd is cleaned up his act. As says Slim Charles is his act. And Cuddy's the only one that's any good. So Avon says, get Cuddy and any others you can round up. I want my corners. Once again, he wants those corners.
Yep.
So what you telling me, we weak?
Boss, I reached out to Black Donnie.
Okay, spit it out, man. Listen, stop fucking double talking me.
Black Donnie say he ain't having any of it. Say Brother Muzon put a hex on all of us.
What about Peacock?
Peacock went and hired out with some Dominicans.
What about Eggy Mule?
And Eggy locked up, caught a nickel with the feds for a pistol.
What about Shorty Boy?
Shorty Boy went and cleaned his old act up. Yeah, I know. Fucked us all up.
What we got?
The soldier you sent at us, Cuddy, he gonna work out. But the rest of them dudes, I don't know.
All right, listen, big man. You're about to earn your fucking keep around here right now. You go out, you get Cuddy, and get the best of the rest, and you put a hurting on Marlo. I want my corners.
I just loved that list, though.
Oh, yeah.
No, not that guy, not that guy, not that guy.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. That's actually one of the more referenced conversations because, like, basically you have like 3 or 4 names where nobody you never actually see these characters,
exactly.
and yet
Eggy Mule.
Eggy Mule, what a name that is. So apparently, like, and Alan Sepinwall posited that they just asked Wood Harris and Slim Charles just come up with whatever names they could think of. For the, now that's whether that's true or not is to be determined.
That's
Wouldn't
great.
that be awesome? So yeah, and of course now you remember Brother Mouzon from season 2. So if you hadn't been watching or you kind of forgot, that's a little callback.
Yeah,
so,
I like that they are keeping him at play.
Yep.
All right. Stringer's at his condos. That's where he's been. And the construction guys are just sitting around. Krawcheck and the general contractor tell him that things are being held up by City Hall. Isn't that just like City Hall to do that?
A little bit.
So Krawcheck says you need to get in touch with your friend at City Hall, your consultant, to make things happen. That's why we even have a friend in a place like that on the payroll. Krawcheck says it's democracy in action. Ugh, wow. Isn't that terrible?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's so cynical.
And at this point, we don't know who the friend really is. I don't think I realized that it was going to be, as we find out later, Clay Davis.
Yep.
All right.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't know, and yeah, it's interesting to see how that all plays out. So, oh, did I have something else about that? I don't know. I think it was just the City Hall stuff is just hilarious because if you ever had to deal with permits, it's a gigantic pain in the ass.
It is.
I think it's one of those things that started with good intentions, but
I know.
ultimately,
I know. I have kind of volunteered to help an organization get a sign put up. Not realizing that it might come down to me to have to go get the permits for the signage for I just don't even want to bother. I'm just like, can we let's pay the extra $650 to the signage company to take care of that, because I do not want to be doing that crap.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
That's
an aside. Okay. Cuddy draws up a plan and explains it to Gerard, Slim, Country, and then this guy Chipper, who I'm sure we've seen him before, but I just didn't remember him having much of a role. Okay. Gerard wants to know why they don't just drive up the easier path, and he gets learned about all the reasons that's not a good idea. Anyhow, that is just to show Cuddy and Slim's level of experience, are kind of explaining why it has to be this way. It's the safer route to go. They are instructed on what to do with the weapons and the shell casings, but they are told to hold on to their gloves because it could have that DNA and shit on it. Cuddy says that they need time, so those guys need to wait until he calls them. And Chipper responds that he understands, but that they better leave some action for them.
Yep.
Chipper is Chipper. He really wants to get down to some violent business here.
Yeah.
He's gung-ho about it.
Yeah. Again, just a gangster.
Just a gangster. Oh, dear.
All right, look. Me and Slim, we're going to work through the alleys and hit them from the side. I want you to come through here. Slow down through the intersection.
Oh, why don't we just come up this way, then we ain't got to worry about crossing no intersection?
Come that way, you putting your driver in the line of fire, man. Think on it. He getting taken out. Car gonna crash. Now where that put you at?
Besides, you don't want to be shooting across your driver, do you? All right, so come in easy. They ain't gonna be looking for you because we gonna have their full attention.
And look, pick your targets, drop them and move out quick. Who driving, man?
I'm under the wheel. All right, you make sure you slow down at the end of the block and toss your weapons.
And get rid of any shell casings that kick back in the car. Police can trace them shits.
Toss the gloves too, right?
Nah, hold on to them. They gonna have that DNA shit all on them.
All right, look, it's gonna take us some time to get set up, so we need y'all to lay back about 4 or 5 blocks. And when we ready, we gonna hit you on the burner. But y'all hold tight till I call you. You got it?
We gonna handle our end. You just make sure some fucking work left out there for us. Because I don't want to feel like I'm just some damn decoy.
Damn right about that.
Okay, Chipper, Country, and Gerard are in a car. They're stationed in their location a few blocks away. We see, you don't even really pay attention, but a guy in a white t-shirt rides by on a bicycle. Chipper once again expresses his concern about missing out on the action. How's that going to look to Avon if they aren't involved in whatever happens next? But that guy that was in the white t-shirt, he rolls up to Marlo's guys on the corner, and the next thing we hear after he talks to them is strap up. These guys, they all go and grab guns that are hiding in various places, and they get ready. In the meantime, Cuddy and Slim Charles are loaded up, and they are approaching from the back of the buildings. Mm-hmm. Okay, keep going.
Are you going through the whole thing?
I'm going to go through the whole...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Chipper sees one of Marlo's guys, Nene, talking to somebody in a car. He says, let's go get him. Let's not wait. Mm-hmm. So he drives up, but Nene is waiting. He's armed. He shoots Chipper in the head as he drives past the car that he's talking to. They kind of act like a shield.
Yep.
That allows Nene to shoot Chipper right in the head as he drives past. Chipper crashes into another car. We see Gerard slip out the back window and escape on foot. But Country, there's kind of a round of shooting. Country then gets out of the car, and then he is shot dead.
Yep.
And Cuddy and Slim Charles see around the corner what's going on. Cuddy is pissed. He's like, didn't I tell them to wait for a call? Mm-hmm. But they do know that at this point it's over. Mm-hmm. And so they toss their guns and they strip their jackets and run out of there.
Yeah.
So that didn't go very well.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Damn you, Chipper.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did we should say goodbye to Country.
Yeah, man.
Played by Addison Switzer,
okay,
who is actually a very active theater actor.
Oh, really?
And I will say, if you go look at his Instagram, he is also a very handsome man. Oh. He is kind of like uglified up a little bit. And when you look at his headshots, he is a good-looking guy. So, nice. I enjoyed it, even though he didn't have much of a role. I do enjoy it. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
more Shamrock and Country.
Yeah, played out exactly as Slim said it would, and not to put too fine a point on it, but it's interesting because Avon being a gangster, in this kind of situation, it's how did you contribute to this, in terms of bodies that you drop, as opposed to seeing it as a team effort.
Right.
So Chipper can't see that. No. Gerard is kind of just along for the ride. Yeah. Country's trying to explain, but Chipper's like, "No, let's do it." And he's the one. He's the one that's
driving.
Yeah, I did like his delivery of "I'm under the wheel." I try to use that whenever I can. It's not. I don't get to use it particularly often, but yeah. And then I'm just kind of like aghast at Slim and Cuddy throwing fully loaded guns into the bush. Yeah, exactly. Like one of them's an Uzi, I think, and it's just like, holy crap!
I know.
That is terrifying. Some kid will pick that up and start.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay. Well, let's assume that they
haven't even fired anything from those weapons, so it's kind of weird that they're just like, let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a mess. What a mess. Okay. Marlo is later looking at a nice truck with Vincent, who we've seen before, his advisor, the guy that works in the car shop or whatever. Vincent asks how bad it went with the Barksdale crew. Marlo says it was not bad at all for us. They didn't hardly get a shot off, which he says speaks to the quality of Barksdale's people. Vincent says, Barksdale's going to come back at you now. And Marlo says that he hopes that it does. That he doesn't want it to end there. Vincent tells him the problem is not getting to the top, but staying at the top. And he reminds him that there are a lot of people in prison who once wore the crown. But Marlo says, at least they wore a crown, and it's my turn now.
Yeah.
How many y'all take?
2. You didn't get nearly a shot off. Speak to the quality of Barksdale people.
He's gonna have to come back at you. You know it ain't gonna stop at this.
I don't want it to stop. I'm on Barksdale weak today. And he ain't working with the ammunition I got.
No doubt you carrying a full clip. But what you gonna do when you sitting at the head of the table? Once you there, you got to hold it down.
Sound like one of them good problems.
Yeah. Prison and graveyards, full of boys who wore the crown.
Point is, they wore it. It's my turn to wear it now.
Ooh, man, Marlo is just like hardcore and ambitious. He does not care. He just wants to be the big bad guy on top.
Yeah, I mean, that isn't it's so interesting because is exactly the same thing that Avon, essentially, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about how much money he has or anything like that. It's just about wearing the crown.
He just wants to wear the crown.
I did want to just mention a little note here about Chris Partlow, who I think this is his first time speaking.
I was going to say, because there's two people that are there that are kind of watching and talking to him, a younger person, and then the other guy, that's Chris Partlow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the other person, I'll introduce her now, is Felicia Snoop Pearson.
Okay.
There's a incredible backstory to her. I will leave it for now because when she plays a bigger role, so which I think is in the next episode, so no problem there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll mention here, so the actor who plays Chris Partlow, his name is, Gabenge Akinagbe.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It's terrible. I should have looked that up ahead of time. But in any case, he apparently turned down a role to play Slim Charles because he was taking a test. And Ed Burns, this is Ed Burns talking, said, "Shit, man, we got to find something for this kid to do." And that's when they created Chris Partlow. So it's really cool that he auditioned and then they created an character based on him.
Been good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you'll see more about why that guy is. He's an indelible character in the episode, in the series. So anyway, but yeah, that's it. So there you go.
All right. Next up, Brianna is giving Donette like a haircut or a hairdo. I can't really tell what's going on there. But she tells Brianna about Donette tells Brianna about what it's been like since Dee's been gone and how Avon and Stringer have been paying her rent and bills out of a sense of duty to Dee, not because of, quote, what you might have heard. Brianna sort of acknowledges that, yes, Dee's been gone for over a year and acknowledges that Donette is with Stringer. She says, are you asking me if it's all right? Because if you are, it's all right. I'm not mad. And that's when Donette tells Brianna about when McNulty came over and brought up Dee's death all over again, how that was hard for her, and suggested that Dee did not take his own life. And she also says that she just told Stringer. And that whole time Brianna has a face that is kind of like, okay, this is interesting. Tell me more. So,
things are happening. Yeah,
Brianna is going to figure some stuff out, I think.
Yeah. Well, you nailed it exactly. I just love Michael Hyatt, the way she plays it, because she doesn't react, but you can see that stuff in her mind. She just reveals in her mind that a lot is happening, which I just really like. So, Donette asking to be with String after they've been together for
I know, right? Like,
months,
oh my God, give me a break.
Anyway, just all right. We see you, Donette.
Yes,
but
Brianna does acknowledge that Stringer is fine.
Yes,
she does. She does at least acknowledge that.
Sure. Okay. Well, and there's a woman is still flesh and blood.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on here. Cuddy and Slim Charles are giving Avon and Stringer the download on what happened. And they say, they can't really tell exactly what happened until Gerard shows up because, as we remember, he took off on foot. They haven't seen him, apparently. Avon is pissed because he's got 2 guys dead and Marlo's crew's completely okay. He wants to hit back immediately, but Stringer advises that they wait until they can get more muscle. Avon is concerned about how this will look to everybody else on the streets, that he just got punked by this boy. Cuddy and Slim say, hey, let's just us take care of this, the 2 of us. Avon tells them, like pointing at them with a gun.
Right.
You better not mess it up. I don't think he's like planning to shoot them.
No.
But just to make the point a little bit more, there in their faces. When they leave, Avon reiterates that the game is the game. And while Stringer sort of agrees with him, he starts to tell Avon about what's happening over in Hamsterdam. And we'll have more on that momentarily. How that it was like business, like drugs were almost legal there, only to find out that Avon wasn't listening to him at all.
Yeah.
And Stringer doesn't bother repeating himself.
Right.
Last seen Gerard, man, he was racing bullets up on Fayette Street. He appeared to be winning, too.
Look, man, until he shows back up here, we ain't gonna know what happened out there.
I damn sure know one fucking thing for sure. 2 of our people chalked and we ain't got shit to show for it.
Man, police gonna be real heavy on this, man. I say we slow down, take our time to build our muscle.
No, I ain't got no more motherfucking time, man. When the work hard, this boy Marlo punking me, what am I look like? I'm gonna go do this shit my damn self.
Nah, man, you just this minute got home. Your name come up in a murder beef, man, they gonna pull your parole. Let me take care of this.
We was thinking, man, me and Cuddy, we can hit them ourselves, man. That way, won't be no fuck-ups.
Look,
You two niggas get on it, man. And get it right. See how shit had to be handled, man? The game is the fucking game. Period.
Same as it ever was. I don't know, though, man. I mean... I don't know, I was just down the way with one of our youngers on Vincent Street where they got their, you know, the empty houses over there. And they got crews over there twirling dope and coke like the shit was candy. Kids with a lemonade stand. It's a different world down there. Like the cops was just standing around like that shit was legal. I mean, every day. That shit was business.
What you saying, man? What's up?
Nah, man. Not at all.
Yeah, so
that was interesting.
Yeah, really. I mean, and you know, it could just shows that Avon is like just 100% in like an emotional place.
Yes,
You know, no logic at all getting through to him.
One
and
track
like
mind.
Mm-hmm. And you know, so the thing that stood out to me is the line from McNulty in season 1 when they arrest Avon, and he says, "Do they think it's Tony Montana up there? These guys probably haven't touched a gun in years."
Right.
And here Avon is with a pistol for no reason at all.
No.
So, but of course it's symbolic, right?
Right.
He's getting back into the, you know, warring with other crews,
Yes,
and
to
this is
being a
kind
gangster.
of probably when he feels most alive and things like that. And of course, as you said, Stringer is explaining there's an alternative out there, and Avon's just like, how do I hit back at this guy?
Exactly. That's all he's thinking about.
So yeah, so it's a fascinating, and you know, I think there's something really interesting too about the way that Avon is presented. He's got this hat, and it's like just like at the very top of his head and off to the side, and it just really looks like, you know, just a disheveled, you know, kind of. But he's got that kind of soldiery kind of, you know, feel to it. So, you know, and there've been a few times where they've mentioned the like references to Iraq, and obviously today they do, and you already called it out.
Sure.
You know, but and so it just feels like, you know, I don't know if they were making a commentary on going into a, you know, war zone essentially half cocked or not fully prepared, but it definitely feels like if you wanted to draw that inference, you probably could quite easily. So
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Stringer's all dressed up, and we see him sitting in Clay Davis's office. And Davis tells him he needs $25,000, $20,000 for the permits, and $5,000 for him because of all the work he's going to have to do to bribe the others to get those permits. He's putting himself on the line, you know. And then Davis also has the temerity to say that people working for the city are the shameful ones,
Right.
while he takes this bribe money. It's so unbelievable. Stringer looks extremely annoyed by it all. Just kind of the hoops he's having to jump through to make this thing happen. You know, almost like he wants to just roll his eyes.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's who his connection in the office was.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So you already laid it out, but just in case Krawcheck saying, we have to make a call, this is the call.
This is the call. Yeah.
So well done picking that up. It would be easy enough, I think, to not sort of make that connection. You're like, who did you call? It's like this.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think that there's something interesting too about how Stringer is, you know, I think, you know, it's clear that like, even though he's taking his business classes and trying to be sort of more businessman, he's still very much learning how this goes. And so, you know, I also thought there was an interesting reference about how from Clay Davis when he's saying made the last group look sanctified, which is a little bit of a reference to the conversation that Herc and Carver were having with Poot about, you know, saying this is the end of the world, and you know, every year it's the worse than before. So, you know, I don't know if obviously I'm sure that Davis doesn't know that's kind of happening on the street, but it does feel like there's a little bit of a callback. And so one of the things that Wire does is create these, like, if it's happening over here, it's also happening over here. So, you know, and so the fact that Davis kind of lays it out as like this bigger challenge and this thing that you have to deal with, I think it actually is stoking Stringer even more so. Yeah. So he's like much less resistant to helping Davis out.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, let's see here. Cuddy and Slim roll up on one of Marlo's corners. They see fruit there talking on the phone, as well as one of the other hoppers, the one with the bad asthma who's always coughing. And Cuddy reminds us that Fruit stole money from him for the drugs that he asked him to sell. So Cuddy and Slim Charles come onto the scene kind of out of nowhere. Slim Charles kills the guy with the asthma, the kid with the asthma, really. And Cuddy goes after Fruit. And I mean, it just seems like this would be, your poetic justice. This
100%.
is where, Fruit ripped you off and you're going to shoot him. Cuddy holds up the gun, but then he looks to the side and he sees the shot up kid. And he can't go through with it. So he lowers his gun. And the minute he does, Fruit runs away. Slim Charles comes up. He thinks it's his fault that Cuddy couldn't get the shot off because he maybe came in too early and gave Fruit enough time to run.
Yeah.
But we know that's not what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at this and, I think if you're watching a typical show, you're like, yeah, get him back for him stealing from you. But yeah. So really, were you expecting Cuddy to shoot him?
Yes, I was expecting Cuddy to shoot him.
Yeah. Anyway,
I did.
Okay. Well.
Yes, and then Cuddy and Slim report to Avon that one of Marlo's guys went down. Avon's disappointed that it was only one, but he's kind of tells him he's not dwelling on it. Slim tries to say that it's because he came in too early. He tries to take the blame for that, but Cuddy chimes in that it's on him instead, and that he doesn't have any of it in him anymore. Avon says we could put you somewhere else, but he clarifies that it's the game that isn't in him anymore. Avon says, you haven't done shit else. What are you going to do? Cuddy says, I don't know, but it can't be this. And this whole time, Cuddy's eyes are just gigantic, right? Like he is just almost surprised at himself for doing this, to have, just saying this and laying it all out. And Avon lets him go, which I did not expect either.
What did you expect?
Or maybe like, he would let him go, but he's like, he knows too much. We have to kill him later. Something like that. It just seemed like he would never just do that honorable thing to me and let Cuddy be. But he does. And after he leaves, Slim says about Cuddy, he was a man in his day. And Avon says he's a man today.
Yep.
How'd it go?
We got one out of two of them motherfuckers,
You mean you motherfuckers come strolling in here all walking tall and shit?
You'll be out, man. I'm saying, man, we was blazing on them dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? Just got in the heat, man. We was blazing, though. It was like...
All right. Relax, man. I already heard. Go sit down. I'm not tweaking behind none of this. That's one less motherfucker that's breathing than was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So we all good. But I'm surprised with you, though, man. Shit didn't get by you back when.
Well, my man's fault, man. I unloaded on the younger too soon, man. Gave him enough room to buck and run, man. I fucked that shit up myself,
Hold on. It's on me. I had that kid in my sights, close enough to take off his Kango and half his dome with it. Couldn't squeeze the trigger. Couldn't do it, man.
Why not?
Wasn't in me, I guess. Whatever it is in you that lets you flow like you flow and do that thing, it ain't in me no more.
All right. So you done soldiering, but you ain't done. Could use you for what you got in your head. We're gonna put you on a corner. You could be inside.
Oh, man. I ain't making myself clear. The game ain't in me no more. None of it.
But you ain't done shit else. You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna do?
I don't know. But it can't be this.
All right, then. We straight.
Good. Shit.
B. He was a man in his time, you know?
He a man today. He a man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cuddy's out.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't expect it to go down like that. I thought it was going to be more complicated, but I'm glad. I'm glad for Cuddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that this is one of the scenes that really caught me today, and just having watched this so many times, I still was kind of surprised at my own emotions to it. So number one, it's fascinating to me, the kind of the honor in this scene across the board.
For sure.
Right? Avon's acting like a fucking lunatic, and yet here he is in a situation where one of his two best soldiers is saying, I got to walk out the door.
Yeah.
Slim comes in saying it was my fault and blame me. Mm-hmm. Cuddy steps up and says, no, it wasn't. It's me, and here's the situation, and I'm no longer valuable to you. And Avon's like, okay, I hear you, and I'm essentially trusting you to not tell anybody anything that you've learned or seen or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's kind of incredible,
Yep.
the whole scene in general. And, of course, now we know where that Cuddy's journey is now turning towards something else, and we don't know what that is yet, but it's really quite something. And so, anyway, it's just and it just, not that it needs to be said that much, but I'm going to say it anyway, that just beautifully acted.
Yes.
Like across the board, just incredible
so
stuff.
good.
Wood Harris, is really putting in a performance this time.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, God, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? And you're just like reacting to him, and then here he
Right.
is in this moment.
Yeah, I
and you're
know.
like, wow.
Even that moment where they like clasp hands and do the bro
Yeah,
hug,
exactly,
and
yeah.
you just can see like Avon's body posture is relaxed, and Marlo's but Cuddy's is still, kind of rigid. Like he can hardly believe that this is happening, that he's seeing his way out of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. So I think the one callback was to the conversation between Stringer and D'Angelo when Stringer says, what are they going to do? Go get a job. And Avon essentially has used this, I think, as the stick for probably keeping people in his organization. Like, what are you going to do? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
And Cuddy's like, I don't care. I will, live
Whatever
on
it
the
is.
street
Yeah.
before I can do this anymore. And,
Yeah.
and so, and of course, like Avon respecting that, I think is really something. So, Okay, well, sorry. I love this scene.
It was a
great
great scene.
So, okay.
I agree. It was worth talking about.
All right. And plus it got Ellie's prediction exactly on the right.
And there's that
So
too.
there you
All right, let's go to Hamsterdam.
All right.
All right. Carver remarks that things in Hamsterdam are not pretty, but Colvin tells him that they don't need to be. He is, however, concerned that not everybody is there to sell their drugs. Not everybody's come to Hamsterdam that was supposed to. He tells his guys to go round up the rest of the hoppers, and that if they don't come, they have his blessing to put the hurt on them. And that Mello will take care of all of the details around that. Mella just kind of smiles.
Yep.
We see them go around, rounding up guys into vans, pushing up against walls, taking their shoes, towing away their vehicles, aka baby cakes. One guy is outraged, says, you can't do this. It's America. But Santangelo tells him it's West Baltimore.
Great line.
So yes, they can. Carver's overseeing everything that goes down. There's another, I thought we were moving on to another scene because it's late at night. You see this car driving through what looks like a forest road. You just see the headlights. And no, we're still on the same scene. It's a handful of guys getting let out in the middle of the woods at night. Who knows where they are? Who knows how they got back? I kept on thinking about that. How would they get back? And they get kind of the final warning that they better get over to Hamsterdam or else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I have to wonder how far it's probably like 20 miles. That's still long. You still don't want to drive like an hour.
Exactly.
Just
I
to
know.
fuck with these guys,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty.
Doesn't have to be. Just needs to pull them from the places still worth salvaging. All right. Told the other shifts. Now I'm telling you. When I ride my district at the end of this week, I want to see empty corners. If they bring it here, or the other two free zones, or you bang them senseless. Anything you need to do, you do. Up to a body that can't walk itself out by the emergency room, I'll back up you and your men. You understand me? And I detailed our ID representative to the range for the entire week. All citizen complaints will be handled by Lieutenant Mello here. Whatever it takes.
Crazy.
So first, most important question about this.
Yeah.
Ellie, we actually just coincidentally had a conversation about cars. Did you ever name your cars?
I have a name for my car now, but I've
really?
never had a car named before that. Yeah.
And what is the name of it?
She's Svetlana. Sorry. That was probably loud. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So where did that come from?
Svetlana. I don't know. She's kind of sexy and she's bossy.
Oh, okay, well then. little.
She's always telling me to pay attention to the road.
Okay, well, a little subconscious coming in from Ellie. So cool. Mine was Eric.
Eric?
My 1984 Nissan.
You named a car Eric.
Well, okay. So the joke is, God, sorry, folks. I've already said I'm 49 years old. I grew up listening to a Monty Python tape.
Okay.
And they had a song called Eric the Half a Bee.
That's right. Yeah.
And this car had to be shared between my brother and my stepsister, and so they called it Eric the Half a Car, and so it became Eric.
Oh my gosh, that's so hilarious.
And then I named my second car Vince Clortho, but it was named after the guy from Ghostbusters, but it never really took. So anyway, that was those were the last two. So Baby Cake, so for that car it was a Cadillac or thing or something like that. So it was a nice car. So anyway, and then I just like the cricket sounds, just a reminder from season 1. And then I just want to mention one other thing. Richard Price was talking about Hamsterdam in All the Pieces That Matter. He said they found a street for Hamsterdam that they didn't have to set dress at all. It just looked like Dante's Hell. The problem was, right before they started shooting, they realized that you could see on a rise the back of a museum. The museum called the city complaining and refused to be in a shot, and the city came back and says you can't shoot there. They looked at each other. What are we going to do? They moved literally 50 yards that way and found the next street where you couldn't see the museum. It was the exact same thing.
Oh my
I think they lost an hour.
Wow.
So, so these were just real neighborhoods in Baltimore. Wow. So just kind of incredible.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the rest of West Baltimore at this time looks very peaceful. People are sitting on their porches. They're riding their bikes and scooters. They're putting out laundry to dry. It's lovely. It's a neighborhood again. Mm-hmm. Back in Hamsterdam, though, Colvin notices that the old woman that we saw last episode is still living there, and she's looking really concerned about what's happening to her once almost abandoned neighborhoods now filled with people selling drugs.
Yep.
So Colvin is next in the woman's house. He's talking to her, and she tells him about when they first moved into the house, what her husband did, how it was a different neighborhood then. Colvin tells her there's another place he can offer her, shows her a picture, tells her about how much better it is, how much more convenient it will be for her. She says she can't afford it, but he tells her that there's a program for people like her, people who are living in bad places. She wonders, however, why there isn't a program for what's happening outside her door, not realizing that is the program.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside her home, we see Bodie leaned up on Stringer's car, explaining that he has examined the whole place. Doesn't seem to have cameras anywhere, that it's not a trap. So Stringer gives him the okay to bring some young kids there and a small package and to see how things go. He is very tentative, however, with what he wants to begin with there.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a smart way to go.
Mm-hmm.
My husband worked for Mr. Cooper at the American Can. He made good money. We saved up and bought this house. There were some white families still living in the neighborhood then.
The neighborhood has changed, Miss Hazel. This is a picture of the house.
Oh.
City owned, taxes paid and all.
It is very nice. But I can't afford that.
You don't have to worry about the money. It's all taken care of. It's a special program we have. It's for people who are living in really bad situations, the drug trafficking you see outside. And this is a good neighborhood. It's safe, and it's on the number 19 line, and it's walking distance from your church.
Officer, this is the only home I know. It's all I've got. Now, you say you have a program that can place me somewhere else, but you ain't got no program for what's outside my door.
Did want to mention that Mrs. Hazel is the woman's name.
Mrs. Hazel.
And her comment, she only knows what she knows. This is the only house she knows.
Right.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like same,
Yeah.
Strigger's comment. And so it's fascinating that she, at least on some level, has some resistance to moving.
Yeah.
She would rather stay where she
there.
is than to go to someplace new. Now, obviously there's a lot of history and that kind of thing wrapped up in it, of course. So certainly it's understandable, but it is kind of fascinating that that kind of thing can really be an anchor.
But even without the drug, trade going on outside her door, like before there's nobody else living. There's no community, no other people. She's all alone there. So, I mean, God, it's just crazy that I can understand, with all the drugs and stuff like that going on. But man, just to be there alone and still want to be there, weird.
Yeah, a little bit. So, but yeah, and then, I got to give credit to Bodhi. He is managing up really well.
He is.
So.
Bodhi's getting all grossed up.
But yeah, okay.
Okay, well, Colvin meets up with Forster about getting a house for Miss Hazel, and he gives Forster a story about how she's a witness in an upcoming drug case. She's got to be moved for witness protection, and also don't worry because he already found a spot for her, this home that was under foreclosure. All he needs to do is have Forster sign off on it. Forster is reticent, but Colvin kind of pushes him, saying, "Look, we can't lose another witness like we just did. It would look terrible." So Forster does relent, signs it, says, I was, you copied my signature if anybody asks. He does ask where the woman is living now. And, Colvin gives him the address for what we know to be Hamsterdam. Forster says, bad neighborhood, huh?
Yeah.
Colvin says, you have no idea.
Yep.
Yeah, it's terrible now that you've pushed all the drug dealers there.
Yeah, I looked it up a little bit, but I couldn't find I didn't understand what the play was here. Like, how does the city have access to a house?
I don't know. I don't know. And how that could just be used for witness protection. Commandeered for witness protection seems really strange to me too, but it's okay. If Miss Hazel's getting out of where she is, please.
But yeah, right. Of course that. And of course, Ellie is proven again, right. It wasn't a prediction, but Forster is just a complete wimp.
He's such a little chicken shit.
That was the word.
Him.
Yeah.
He is.
Okay.
So later on, Colvin gets a call from Rawls about the shootout that had occurred between Barksdale's guys and Marlo's guys. Colvin tells him what they're doing with the response as far as sending out a flex squad and having his drug enforcement unit on top of it. Colvin says, do you know what homicide has? And Rawls says, I want answers from you. And then Rawls hangs up on him.
Yep.
Nice. Colvin asks Carver, what do we know that we can actually tell him? And Carver just, he kind of says it flippantly at first. This gangs, just like you said, rival gangs.
Yeah.
Which gangs? And this is where at least Carver has a little bit, he looks a little more contrite. He's like, he has no idea what gangs they are.
Yeah.
So, God damn, Carver, how can you not even know what the gangs are? I know you're out there, just kind of busting heads and stuff like that, but geez, you'd think that you'd at least be curious. You'd want to know names. You'd want to make connections, but just going that extra step is too much to ask, I guess.
Well, I think that I hate to keep hitting the point, but they're really filtering in the just a gangster, right? I mean, Carver just had, essentially was given this directive on a platter last episode from Herc or from McNulty and Kima, and they're like, what do I care?
Yeah, exactly.
And Herc, we knew Herc was never going to internalize that, but Carver, you would think, had a little bit more kind of awareness, or maybe I should rethink things. But,
right.
So it seems, at least at this point, that maybe something is getting through to him that he needs to change his approach.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, as instructed, Bodhi brings some young hoppers over to Hamsterdam. He tells them, what's up? He says he hopes they brought their toothbrushes. What is that? Is it because they're going to be sleeping there? Or I don't understand why he asked them that.
Well, because essentially, so they asked if they get picked up.
Oh.
And then they'll go to Boys Village, which is where Bodhi was in season 1.
Oh,
and so he needs a toothbrush.
That's Boys Village. Right, I forgot about what Boys Village is. Got you, yes.
Because otherwise, how are they going to brush their teeth?
Yes, or you got to use your finger.
Yeah.
Okay, and that if they don't get arrested, they'll get to take 20 off whatever packs they sell, I guess. And just like that, they go automatically into dealing.
Right.
Like nothing's changed, just a slightly different street. So, yeah. that's it for what's happening with the Western here.
Yep.
Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
All right, shall I move on?
Yeah.
Let's get into a little politics, shall we?
All right.
Okay. Marla and Lieutenant Daniels are at a political event. Marla looks very pretty, very winning, and Daniels is there in his dress blues. Unetta Perkins, however, is not at the event.
Right.
Odell Watkins, Tony Gray, and Senator Clay Davis are talking about it. Odell is pleased with how Gray went after Burrell in the last episode about the state's witness being murdered, mainly because this is a way to get at the mayor. And Watkins says that new blood is how they keep everybody honest on the council.
Mm-hmm.
After the event, Marla and Daniels are having dinner. She's pleased with how it went, says he did well. He says, well, I did what you wanted.
Yeah.
And she kind of touches his hand and indicates that she might like to try their relationship again. But he says he doesn't really know.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's very businesslike until it's not. And then it's back to businesslike. It's uncomfortable to watch, for me at least.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like, they're all business until there's this one tender moment and he's like, I don't know what I want. Mm-hmm. So, and then I feel bad for Rhonda getting caught up in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
That's interesting. I mean, I see your point. I feel like Cedric was trying to thread the needle of saying no without being a jerk about it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because if he'd said, I'm with somebody else, then Marla is just like her heart's broken. And I think he's trying to not do that.
Yeah.
So that was my read on it. I don't know. Okay. On the other hand, but as is clear in my history that I default to trying to defend every man for some reason. I
think he really doesn't know. I think he could consider
so?
going back to her. Yeah.
Interesting.
Just because of what he says later to Rhonda, which we can talk about
Interesting.
later.
Okay. All right.
Carcetti and Gray are playing racquetball. Gray starts telling him about how he went to one of those obligatory functions that they all try so hard to get out of. But he says he's glad he went because this one had Odell Watkins at it, and that Watkins indicated that he is disappointed in the mayor. Of course, Carcetti is all ears at that. Mm-hmm. Gray says it seems like he was interested in seeing somebody else be mayor, and they run through a couple names that they agree would not work out. Gray says it has to be someone with balls. He's thinking about himself. Mm-hmm. Carcetti chimes in that it also has to be somebody black because it's Baltimore and all. And this is where I'm like, why is he trying to encourage Gray to run for mayor if he wants to run for mayor? Okay. So more on that later. But at this moment, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand.
Yep.
All right. Shall I continue?
I mean, I think that from Carcetti's standpoint, just the thing I'll add is, I think he's looking at this as probably like now that what we see later as God. This is a godsend.
Yeah,
because
right.
This is exactly what he needed.
Things are lining up for him.
Yeah, exactly.
When you find out more later. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Carcetti comes home. There's his two adorable children, his loving wife that he loves to cheat on.
He only did it the one time.
Oh, sure.
Ellie.
Yeah, I bet that's the only time he's ever done it. His daughter tells him, we shared with you, but Carcetti is busy trying to find a tape of a speech that he gave. He's not sure where it is. His wife indicates that it might still be in the VCR, but when he opens it, it looks like a grilled cheese sandwich comes out. Mm-hmm. And this is the sandwich half that his son Frankie saved for him. They hid it so no one else would take it. And Carcetti's really sweet. He takes it with a smile. He and his wife exchange a look. They seem pretty amused by the situation. And he asks for chips and a pickle to go with it. Mm-hmm. So, try to make me like Carcetti. I don't know about this. He's complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's funny that he comes home, could not care less about the kids.
Yes.
He wants to watch himself.
He wants to watch himself. I know. Oh
and then he's got to snap back.
Yes.
Okay. Well, clearly the tape is ruined, so I might as well spend time with my family.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Well,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, Daniels and Perlman have clearly been together again. Mm-hmm. Daniels is standing around in his pajama pants. Perlman appears to be in one of his shirts in bed. And she's laying on her stomach in that way that I wish I could still lay down on my stomach on a bed.
Okay.
With your legs up, your head propped up with your hands. Back when I was young and flexible and nubile. Sure, all right, sorry. He tells her that Marla is going to run for city council and will probably win. And that a uniformed policeman of a husband looks good for her. Perlman says, who even cares anymore? Half of the country's divorced. But Daniels tells her that he needs to do this favor for her. He had let Marla believe that he was going to be deputy commissioner at worst and out of the police force at best. So I took it. And mentioned some things that went down at the Eastern, which we learned about in the first season, which she has stayed with him through. And because of that, he feels like he owes her. Perlman then asks what he wants, and his answer is not very satisfying because his answer is that he wants to keep Marla from feeling disappointed or from being disappointed. So that's where I was kind of like, like if you really still care about disappointing your partner that you're about to divorce from, I don't know. It just made me feel kind of like he was maybe could still care about her and maybe could go back to her at some point.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, if I was in Perlman's shoes, that's how I would have seen it anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting point because I think I 100% agree with that. Rhonda plays it pretty calm.
Yeah.
But I think she would have every right to
be
frustrated about that.
Yeah. At least he's honest.
You're right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of honor in what he's saying. He could have just, said whatever, but he really lays it all out there.
Yeah.
I think there's something interesting that just caught in my mind about how his comment about things that happen in the Eastern, right? And so we assume, let me say it differently. Okay. We assume that what we saw Herc and Carver do when they raided the stash house in season 1 of just grabbing cash is probably what he did. Yeah. Because he had more money than a lieutenant should.
Right.
So you assume he was getting money somewhere along the way for something. This comment made me think about how Marla probably had no idea, and he just told her. He either told her about it or she found out about it, and she stuck with him. So that part is really fascinating. Is that so now you have a little bit more history about them together and why she was probably more invested in him leaving.
Yeah.
Than
just get as far away
was
from that
at the
as
time.
Yeah,
exactly. And so staying on the police force is just more time for him to be, exposed and something
vulnerable.
like that to risk, things like that. So, so the only thing I would say, again, why am I defending? But here I am, is more like, I think that I think to be charitable, I think he's trying to make right his past history, trying to square his history for himself.
Yeah.
This is how I redeem myself for myself.
Right.
So it doesn't make Rhonda's experience any better in this moment, right? And he's, she still feels like he's doing it for his ex-wife and, that kind of thing. And, her comment about like, who even cares? It's a fair comment. I mean, unfortunately, people do seem to care about that kind of nonsense, even though it couldn't possibly make any difference for most people. So anyway, so it's just, I was really surprised more than anything else. I think when I was listening, I was like, man, this is a long monologue for Lance Reddick. It was long.
I know it was. It was.
So I just assumed it was one more reason to have Lance Reddick with his shirt off.
Which we are never bothered by.
But
we will listen to that monologue.
And not to be whatever, but like go a little art. He's kind of exposing himself in this moment. So just a really interesting piece. I think if you were going to hold on to anything about Cedric's character, this is a good monologue to hold on to and just kind of piece all the previous things that we knew about him together. So so anyway, all right, that's all I got.
All right, well, Carcetti is at D'Agostino's office and he's still trying to convince her to work on his campaign. Excuse me. She says, why should I? He says, because I'm gonna do something. The mayor is absolutely doing nothing. Crime rate's out of control. He tells her about talking to the mayor, about the state's witness who was murdered, and how Royce told him what he wanted to hear and kind of ushered him out of the office. She reiterates the issue of trying to run as a great white savior in a city that is 65% black, but Carcetti says everyone is sick of crime, no matter what their color, and that Royce already has issues with his base of supporters. Not only that, but Carcetti has that inside beat from Burrell on all the issues going on with the mayor, and that Gray looks like he's about to run, which would split the black vote. And that's when I was like, oh, aha, I see. D'Agostino tells him, okay, but you still need somebody who can give black voters permission to vote for you. And Carcetti suggests Watkins, and that could work. He also needs to raise a lot of money, which he kind of seems to think will not be an issue because he just kind of reclines in his chair and smiles. So I don't know what he has planned for that, but I think he is not worried about raising money.
Yeah. Just a small note here. We'll get into it more later down the line, but this kind of thing actually did happen in 1998. Martin O'Malley ran for mayor, and there were two black candidates that ran against him, or alongside. Essentially, they were all competing, and it actually did split the black vote, and
he won.
And he ended up winning. So we will find out if Carcetti is as successful. But the point is that this is kind of pulled straight from that. So I took it as not necessarily like. I think as soon as Teresa said you're gonna have to raise a load of dough, I think he knew he had her in the boat.
Oh, I see. So, okay, that's why it is. All right, yeah. If that's the only thing then that she's relenting on, then she's in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, back at the mayor's office, they're asking Burrell what's up with the climbing murders, and Burrell says we're doing all we can. Royce says, you promised me 275. We're already at October. We're only at October. Royce also says, if we see 300 before the new year, I can't justify a new term for you. Ugh.
Yeah.
Man. I kind of feel for Burrell, man. He's in a rough spot there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'd just like to remind people that, he promised 275.
Yeah.
But you can't control that, clearly. So why are you promising anything related to that? So,
I know. Not without more resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and of course, like, he also looked at it as, like, you're taking the hit for the academy class.
Yeah.
And in that conversation, Roy says, Commissioner, and, here you've earned your full term, and now here he is, Roy. Wow. So I wouldn't, in that case, I would not trust any politician on anything.
Oh my God, no. Go back on anything.
Yeah, I mean, even if the police commissioner can't trust it, then any normal citizen probably can't either.
Well, I mean, after this, I'm sure Carcetti can get Burrell to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, interesting.
Maybe. Okay, let's move on to Bunk if you're ready.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so Landsman, oh my God, Landsman's looking at nudie magazines on the job. Not the first time we've seen somebody looking at nudie magazines on the job in this show. Yep. Bunk hands Landsman a report detailing everything he has done to try to look for Dozerman's gun, hoping that this will keep the higher-ups satisfied enough that Bunk can actually work the murders that he needs to work on, and Landsman seems to concede. So I don't really... it kind of seems like... I was just surprised that that's enough to get Landsman to lay off finally.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fuck is this?
10-page report on the heroic police work undertaken to retrieve Officer Dozerman's service weapon. Send that upstairs. Keep the bosses out of your ass for a while.
You actually did all this?
Would it matter if I had? Jay, I got a double on my plate. I'm going to work it.
Anything on that?
Just a quick thing. I mean, I think that what it tells you is that Landsman didn't care about finding the gun. I mean, and I think on some level, he probably knew how stupid it was.
Yeah.
He just wanted he wanted there to be evidence that they did everything they could.
Okay.
And I think that's probably enough for the bosses too, right? I mean, so Landsman just wants his, to cover his ass.
Yeah.
So Bunk did the right thing.
Report so
and I just love Bunk's line of like, I'm a murder police.
Yeah.
I've got a double and I'm going to work it.
Yeah.
I just love that line because whenever you hear somebody say, "Here, this is who I am," and then I'm staying true to who I am.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bunk is back.
And then Club Magazine. I remember kind of when I was a teenager going to 7-Eleven and staring
that
behind
magazine
it.
existed.
So it's just kind of anyway, just one of those things where it's a little bit of a throwback. And like, why are you looking at in
work?
the office? I don't understand.
So
I mean,
gross. And there's women that work in that office.
Yeah, and Playboy at least like there was always this joke about I read it for the articles, and Playboy had legit writing. I swear to God they had legit stuff in there. And it's just Club Magazine I don't think had
don't think that was really the
I mean, sorry, I don't mean any disrespect to Club Magazine fans, but if they did have good writing, hey, write in and at Wired and Rewired at gmail.com.
What was your favorite article?
Okay. Okay. All right. Enough about
Okay. Well, Bunk has a chat with Tasha's family or Tasha's people and tells them that she was running with Omar's crew. You know, they say they knew she wasn't an angel. He says he would like to talk to one of that crew, you know, set me up with the right people about what happened. And he leaves his card. And then when he steps up and goes out, one of the women sitting at the table, she like flicks his card away like it's got cooties.
Yeah.
I love what happens to all the police officers' cards. I will love a montage of people just taking
that's
the
a good
police
idea,
officer
actually.
cards and just
Put one out
crumpling them, flicking them away, all of that. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. Just a quick note, the cicada, he mentioned the cicada.
Yes, until the cicadas come back.
So,
yeah.
you know about cicadas.
Yeah, exactly. They take, I mean, it's like years before they lay their eggs and then they have to emerge, but it's on some kind, I don't know. It's different for different kinds of cicadas. It's like 12 years or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. So 12 years essentially till those cicadas come back. So,
yeah.
Good job. And
Thank
actually
you.
there were cicadas this year in Maryland. So
That's right. Oh, I heard that it's like kind of gross and just a disaster, like a mess of bugs.
Yep.
I don't think I could handle that.
No.
Okay. Even as cool as they look. Omar and Dante are watching TV. Kimmy comes in with Bunk's card. She says the police want to talk to him. Omar says there's no reason the police need to be involved. They can believe that Tasha took one from the Barksdale people. Kimmy clearly, I mean, she's never going to get over this.
No.
She wants Dante to pay for what he did. You know, Dante's got this just kind of, he's got a look on his face, just like says, fuck off, Kimmy.
Yep.
And Omar says he will take care of it. And he better because his group is falling apart. It's not good.
yeah.
Homicide police went to Tasha people, talking about how they know she was in the mix, saying they got witnesses and shit. They called your name on it, too.
What's your name, everybody? Don't forget me.
So what they say?
They called me.
Hey, yo, I know this cop, man.
Yeah? Maybe we should help him out. Tell him who did what.
Yo, stop wilding, Kimmy. All right, now I said I got this.
Tasha's people want to know from me exactly what happened that day. That's all I'm saying.
Well, tell her she caught one trying to take them boys down, man. Ain't no need to involve the police in none of this.
Sounded to me like he involved already.
Kimmy, I told you, I got this.
I just saw a little note there about, so they're watching Oz, the TV show Oz.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, there's no way, how do they have HBO in that, vacant apartment? So I just thought that was funny. But they probably have a VCR. But anyway.
Maybe.
But yeah, you're right. Like, and so if it wasn't clear at all, Kimmy is threatening to tell the police that Dante shot.
did it, yeah.
Even though, of course, that puts her in, but nevertheless.
Yeah.
So, yep. Okay, but now, as you said, like now Omar's stepping up.
He is. He catches up with the Bruiser, who's playing cards with some other guys. And, Bruiser says, hey, Omar. Hey, Bruiser. And Omar says, speaking of them Trumps now.
Yep.
So we know that Omar's going to have a chat with Bruiser about being an informant. Okay. Bunk then meets up with Omar after receiving a message that Omar wanted to talk to him. I love how Bunk walks up with a cigar.
Yep.
It's so cool. Bunk says, I thought it would be one of your minions, not you. Omar says, you talked to one of my people's people. Bunk tells him, I was doing my job. Omar says, yeah, you're working a lot. I heard about the boys. You rousted up. And he knows that it's about a missing gun. Bunk says that this is not about that gun. This is about Tasha. Bunk wants to know why Omar is there if he's not going to talk. And in that case, he'll just go and get Kimmy. But Omar says, no one's going to talk to you. Bunk feels kind of sly. He says, well, hey, I got an eyeball witness. But then Omar says, you did. You had an eyeball witness, right? He says, oh, Bruiser, he's blind, he's drunk. Yeah, I don't think that eyeball witness will work out for you. Besides, he had a change of heart. And this is where Bunk immediately gets really pissed off. He stands up and he just starts going off. He reminds Omar what their neighborhood was like, that it was really rough, but it was a community, and how Bunk wanted to be one of the bad boys, but he was raised to be straight, and that the other bad boys actually wouldn't let him be bad. It was like they knew he had potential, and that's kind of part of how you hold a community together. How you take care of people. He angrily tells Omar that it's not like that anymore, that all they have is bodies piling up thanks to predatory motherfuckers like you.
Yeah.
And he tells them that now he's been glorified as well, and that little kids are trying to be Omar. They're pretending to be Omar when they play. We remember that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Bunk walks off, and he's about halfway off when Omar just spits this big, nasty spit, and Bunk turns around and then walks away again. So, yeah, it's like you could tell Omar it's sunk in.
Yeah.
I think it's sunk in.
Okay.
So.
Your message said you'd be here. Still, kind of thought it'd be one of your minions showed up in the flesh.
Calling some of my people's people.
I was just working. Doing what a man is supposed to do.
I know you've been busy. Caught some talk from them young men you rousted over there on the west side.
That was about a gun belonging to a police.
Yeah, caught some talk about that too.
This here, it's about something else. Girl by the name of Tasha got her head blown off in a firefight. If you're not here to cooperate, then why are you here? Okay, I could just pull up that other girl from your squad.
She ain't gonna talk to you. Ain't nobody gonna talk to you. I just came here to make that clear, man.
Ain't no thing. Cause I already got me an eyeball wit.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. Old Bruiser, he be blind behind that 45 half the time. Shit, you gonna have to dry him out just to get him on the stand. Besides, he done had a change of heart to that story. That's what I heard anyway. Shoot, past that, y'all gonna have to call this one of them, cost of doing business things y'all police be talking about all the time. You feel me? No taxpayers. Shoot, the way y'all looking on things, ain't no victim to even speak on.
Bullshit, boy. No victim? I just came from Tasha's people, remember? All this death, you don't think that ripples out? You don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I was a few years ahead of you at Edmondson, but I know you remember the neighborhood, how it was. We had some bad boys for real. Wasn't about guns so much as knowing what to do with your hands. Those boys could really rack. My father had me on the straight. But like any young man, I wanted to be hard too. So I would turn up at all the house parties where the tough boys hung. Shit, they knew I wasn't one of them. Them hard cases would come up to me and say, "Go home, schoolboy, you don't belong here." Didn't realize at the time what they were doing for me. As rough as that neighborhood could be, we had us a community. Nobody, no victim who didn't matter. And now all we got is bodies and predatory motherfuckers like you. And out where that girl fell, I saw kids acting like Omar, calling you by name, glorifying your ass. Makes me sick, motherfucker, how far we done fell.
Yeah. Okay. So 100%. It that is the image for sure.
Yeah.
That his response of like spitting, which is kind of like this disrespectful,
Yes.
fuck you.
Yeah, because he doesn't have anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way he has to sit there and listen is really something. There's a line too from Bunk, but you have to back up a little bit, where Omar says no real victim to speak on either.
Yeah.
And later Bunk says nobody, no victim. Right. So nobody in the community was not a victim. Everybody was to put it a different way, everybody was a victim if you were killed. So but of course you got it right. Like glorifying Omar is just, this is where we're kind of heading as a society, as a community. So there's a lot about the scene. So you have to bear with me. First of all, I could swear it was in All the Pieces Matter, but I could not find a conversation or comments about it. So I did dig up Wendell Pierce's Twitter thread after Michael K. Williams passed away. He said, "The Wire brought us together and immortalized Omar and Bunk in that scene on a park bench. But for us, we aim to take that moment in time together and say something about black man, our struggle with ourselves internally and each other. For me and Mike, we had nothing but respect. So to you, so to you, Mike, there's a small comfort that I know you knew how much we loved you." So that was so nice about that. But it was more about like, this is what they are bringing into the scene.
Right.
Alan Sepinwall had much more to say. So I'm going to try to, I'm not going to read everything because it's like 500 words.
Okay.
But he says that, the Bunk confrontation from Omar in this scene, or in this episode, is one of the series' most memorable scenes for many reasons. First, Wendell Pierce and Michael K. Williams act the hell out of it. Whether Pierce doing Bunk's frustrated shadowboxing or Williams doing the red-eyed stare with spit dangling off his chin as Omar tries to conceal just how badly Bunk's word stung him. So he saw it the way Sam did. And then second, it's rare to see Bunk become so serious and so angry, since he's usually more on the comic side.
Right.
And finally, it's startling to see Omar treated not as the lovable rogue we all know, but as a blight on the community, every bit as bad as Stringer or
Exactly.
Marlo. So, and in that scene, Bunk captures the frustration that so many of the show's characters feel about how bad things have gotten in Baltimore.
Right.
So it's an unbelievable scene. The way, and like, I loved that last bit where the camera is on Omar in the foreground and Bunk walking away in the background.
Yeah.
Just blurred, and and you can see Omar's feelings, the way that they do the wide shot when Bunk is kind of laying into Omar and Omar's on the lying, and almost like it almost looks like he's kind of like ready to take a nap.
Yeah.
He's so relaxed.
Well, then like Bunk walks in front of him and knocks his knees totally in his face.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he does it on purpose.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's just a terrific scene, and of course, it's interesting too because when we saw Bunk and Omar back in the police station, they almost seemed like friends. So you kind of figure that they would be
I remember you.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
played that game with the stick.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just Bunk is just all business. So anyway, obviously it's a great scene. I think that's one of the reasons why I was watching this episode and be like, oh my God, there's so much good stuff. And that was actually the other part I forgot was like the Cuddy part and, McNulty. I was like, this part is in it too. It's incredible.
Right.
So it's just a ton of good content. So.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. It's good stuff. Okay, let's move on now to, Kima and McNulty's workaround. That's what I was talking about.
Yep.
Kima and McNulty's workaround. Kima and McNulty tell Daniels what they found out about Marlo and Stringer, or at least what they believe to be the connection between Marlo and Stringer. It's not correct at that point anyways.
Yep.
But Stringer's still quiet despite this, and as long as there are no bodies, Daniels says it's not in their purview.
And this is the Marlo kid. He's fresh blood for the organization. Bell's giving him the best real estate.
The Barksdale people took what they needed when the towers came down, no problem. Stringer hasn't missed a step.
He's still selling drugs.
A lot of drugs.
He's not dropping bodies.
No, he doesn't need to. He's got all the corners he needs.
And I'm supposed to give a shit?
Lieutenant, 2 weeks, Bell looked insulated. Like he had enough legitimate front to be able to be just the bank. What Kima's found out is he's still directly involved with the drugs. Otherwise, why the face-to-face with the Stanfield kid? He's still connected to the day-to-day. When we come back 6-8 months, you won't even get him in a room talking drugs, much less handling any.
It's now or never, Lieutenant.
Stringer Bell is quiet. And if he's quiet, I don't give a fuck if we come back a year from now and find out he's on the Greater Baltimore Committee. This unit is about the bodies.
So the two leave looking disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
McNulty and Kima meet with Remick, I think was the name of the state attorney for Annapolis.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They show her the pictures of Dee's neck. She asks them if they talked to a medical examiner. McNulty tells her that Frazier said it was lumpy, meaning that it could be ruled a homicide.
Mm-hmm.
She asks if they have a suspect, which they don't, and she's not excited about the idea of putting another murder on her own books. Nobody is.
Yep.
So she basically tells them to get lost.
Yeah.
So they are striking out yet again.
Yep.
McNulty and Kima are then at a bar, and they're kind of supposedly talking about how things are not going so well in their case against Stringer. McNulty looks at this cute little white girl on the other side of Kima, who gives him the little no shake of her head. Like, don't even bother. Kima laughs that he even tried. She asks him, what the hardest part of this job is. And he makes a joke about giving your wife an STI and trying to tell her why she needs to be on antibiotics. It's terrible. It's really, really terrible. Kima kind of laughs. Anyways, she asks what's going on with the ex-wife. He shares that she has a lawyer that's into his pockets. She asks if he's moving on, and he says, yes, he's found somebody, and then tells her about D'Agostino.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Don't embarrass yourself. So, your murder's never gonna be a murder. And Daniel's got his head all up in another case. You know what the hardest part about being a police is?
Yeah, explaining to your wife why she has to take antibiotics for your kidney infection.
I was gonna say trying to make the job actually matter.
That too.
Speaking of your ex-wife, what's up there?
Nothing. She's got her hooks in some lawyer, money guy. Fuck it and fuck her.
So what, you moving on?
Yeah, I might have some fresh hope now you mention it.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's this woman at this thing for my kids. She raises money for the school and all that, She's got a face, a body, and a brain all working together, and she looks like the kind who might tell me when my shit stinks, which is probably what I need. She's kind of like Freeman with tits.
So what, you get a number?
Nah, not exactly. Hey, what kind of detective would I be if I couldn't track a white woman in Baltimore, right?
There you go.
Anything you want to chime in on here?
Just back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the first thing that again strikes me is I think this is where I'm trying to figure out from McNulty's perspective, just a gangster, I suppose.
Mm.
There's something really interesting about the conversation with Daniels that you mentioned about Daniels trying to say we are about the bodies, and McNulty in season 1, episode 2 said, I'm a murder police.
Yeah.
And yet he no longer cares about murder. He cares about getting Stringer.
He wants to get Stringer.
Now, that's not to say that it's, that the murders that Stringer was responsible for are wiped away.
Right.
But obviously for McNulty, it's like, I'm not letting that go because I still got to catch this guy for the things he's done in the past.
Right.
So it's just kind of interesting. Whereas like when he was, and then later in that season, he's talking to the associate, what is the ADA for the FBI, where he's like, Stringer and Bell and Barksdale are turning West Baltimore to a free fire zone.
Right.
So here you have bodies people being killed in West Baltimore, and McNulty doesn't care about Quintel Williamson, even though he's killing people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting turn from him. Yeah. So he's kind of almost like he just becomes fixated not on the case, or not on the bigger picture, but on a single target. So which is just kind of interesting. So, and then just want to clarify. So the county district that the district attorney represents is Anne Arundel.
Okay.
So they kind of run it together. Anne Arundel sounds like it's one word, but it's actually Anne space ARUNDEL.
Okay.
So that's just kind of, and that's where Jessup was
I
located.
see. Okay.
So there's
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And then what was the last? Oh, and then the bar. So first of all, and this is not a life lesson, but ladies, if you want to just give the guy a shake, just to tell him that it's not on, please do that
Yeah,
because
right?
we are dumb and you're one way or the other. Now I can't guarantee you that it will actually pay off, but at least you did your part. But if you don't do anything, then guy's gonna read into that whatever he wants to. So that's one. The line about the kidney infection. I just want to mention, I don't know, but that was apparently, I remember reading about that in a book called Ball 4, which was by Jim Bouton, who was with the 1969 Seattle Pilots for one, it was their one and only season.
Okay.
And that was like a joke among the ball players was that they had to why does their wife asking why do I have to get antibiotics for your kidney infection?
Right.
So that was kind of anyway, I don't know if that was a reference that they got, but,
okay.
And then making the job matter.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting too, because I think that Kima saying, I just love the job in season 1,
right.
I can see the people going in to being a police officer thinking that it's going to matter, that they are going to make a difference.
Right.
And here it is, they're trying to make a difference and they just can't seem to do it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe connecting it back to Daniels is that, at some point you are making decisions where it's about staying in the role and it matters less that you're having an impact because you're just now sort of climbing the ladder or keeping the bosses happy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So here, and then compared that to Bunk, who's trying to solve a homicide instead of working on what the bosses want, which couldn't matter less.
Exactly.
Right. So anyway,
yes.
So I just thought that was an interesting commentary and it certainly resonated with me. So,
okay. Kima catches up with Bubs, who is busy selling his white T-shirts, whitey sale, out of a shopping cart. Kima asks Bubs why he wanted to talk to her. He says, you want some intel on Marlo, right? She says, my people aren't interested in Marlo anymore. I need you to get over to whatever, some heights and tell me about Kentel Williamson. Yep, thank you. Bubs says, well, that's too bad because Marlo just dropped 2 of Barksdale's guys recently. Kima's surprised to hear this because, of course, she thinks at this point that Marlo and Stringer are working together. And this is where Bubs finally tells her that Marlo is flying his own colors and that things are going to go down like Baghdad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Baghdad reference.
So thank you, Bubs, for the intel. Always useful, Bubs.
So you working your plan, huh, Bubs?
Dollar here, dollar there, Kima.
So what's up? Why you call?
We're just checking in. You're still interested in that boy Marlo, right? No?
You want to keep getting paid, you need to get your ass up to Park Heights. Screw yourself on that Jamaican named Kentel got them corners.
Kentel, huh?
My bosses don't give a fuck about Marlo. Stringer's people neither.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
But now we got a whole lot of drama.
What happened?
That young buck Marlo ain't getting run off. He just dropped 2 of Barksdale's soldiers on the corner of Mountain Fair 2 hours past.
What?
The corners is all jumping bad.
I thought Marlo had them corners for Stringer. We saw him meet.
I don't know what you saw. All I know is Marlo is flying his own colors. West Side's about to be all Baghdad and shit. But y'all looking for Jake, what's his name? Kentel. Y'all are too fickle for Bubs, man. I swear. Little gift for you and your boys. Call me. Whitey sale.
Yeah, so you connected it back to the conversation with Marlo and Stringer last episode?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Kima saw that and thinks that they're working together.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that brings us to this earlier conversation with Daniels.
Right.
And now here's Kima with new information, and now it's something else. So.
And you would think that would matter, but yeah, here's what's happening.
Yep.
Kima and McNulty tell Daniels about the deaths that have occurred as a result of the recent attack, and they think that this will sway him because all along he has been saying this unit is about the bodies. Well, here's some bodies for you. But instead of getting on board, Daniels is pissed.
Yep.
And he asks him quite firmly what his rank is. Kima says he's a lieutenant, and McNulty just says nothing. He's just silent. And Daniels basically tells him, it's what it amounts to is what I said is what I said. Stop doing other stuff and just do what I told you to do. Right? That is like he is just scolding them. A little bit more than scolding. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
Just, I'm your superior officer. I told you to stop doing this and start doing this. Do it.
Our CI tells us those are Stringer's people. You want us to be about bodies? Now we are.
We had this kid Marlo working for Stringer, but that might be wrong. He might be going to war for those corners.
Let me be clear. This is no longer about Stringer Bell or Kentel fucking Williamson or any of them. What is my rank, Detective Griggs? My rank!
Lieutenant, sir.
What is my rank, Detective McNulty? If you can't remember that much, then you can go the hell back to narcotics. And you can go to whatever the hell unit will still have you. Now get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah, I mean, so if Kima had gone in and said, I was talking to Bubs about getting over to Park Heights, and he mentioned this.
Yeah.
I wonder, like...
if that would have gone over a little better.
Yeah, I guess it was already...
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess it's... I don't know. But it was already kind of... I don't know. I guess Daniels already knew they were trying to make a play.
Right,
so it was
exactly.
really more
He's already made up his mind about it. So
Yeah.
I think he just didn't want to hear it at all.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, Kima and McNulty are talking to each other in the break room about what just went down. McNulty says, Daniels has got to see that they're right about this. And Kima doesn't disagree, but she says that at this point, Daniels would rather be on the opposite side of you than do the right thing for this situation. He doesn't want to cede more ground than he already has. So Kima says the only way we're going to get him is to get this to come from higher up. And then she reminds him, you're good friends with Bunny Colvin. Maybe you talk to him. Not that you go behind anybody's back.
Right.
Of course, we know this is exactly what McNulty did in season 1.
Yeah.
He went behind Rawls' back.
Sure.
So, yeah, McNulty's really good at doing that.
Yeah, Kima just completely, just manipulating.
Oh,
like
yeah.
A puppet master.
She just queued it up. Just queued it up.
Yep.
Well, McNulty tells Colvin later about this burgeoning drug war between Marlo and Avon. Colvin says, Daniel's people have been working in a different area, the Northwest. McNulty says that's been quiet for weeks and your area is only going to get worse. Colvin, he expresses a little bit of surprise that McNulty would go around his lieutenant like this, but then he's kind of like, that's you. Nothing's changed. And they're drinking a beer outside. McNulty throws a beer can on top of the building.
Yep.
He remembers and asks Colvin to keep his name out of it. And there you go.
Yep.
Shall we go on to that final scene?
Yeah, not much more to it.
Okay. Daniels is waiting outside of Burrell's office. You can tell he's been waiting for a while. He goes up to the receptionist, and in that moment, he's finally let in. And who's in the office? It's Burrell and Colvin and Rawls. We hear, here he is now, man of the hour. And yeah, of course, Colvin's request is coming at just the right time for Burrell, right? He just got dressed down by the mayor about doing something about murders. And so let's get our guy in CID on this.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy who fixes things, as we had heard in earlier episodes.
Right.
Here we go.
Yep.
Ta-da!
So now it's on.
Now it's on.
Yeah, the threads are now pretty woven together, I think, at this point. So
yes, they are.
Yep. All right, well, that's the end, right?
That's the end.
Okay, well.
We did it.
All right. We made it.
Homecoming. We come back home.
Okay. Okay, well done, Ellie.
Thank you.
Thank you for weaving those together.
So much stuff.
Yeah, it really was a lot. I mean, God, how many scenes we're talking? Got to be up in the 40s.
A lot.
So, okay, well, thank you. Good job, Ellie. And all right, well, that gets us to our categories.
Yes.
We'll do the music first.
Music.
There were only 2 songs. Just the one I thought I would mention was "Dirt Off Your Shoulder" by Jay-Z. When Stringer is visiting Amsterdam and talking to Bodie.
Okay.
And I just thought that was is that a reference to the shoulder move that Bodie did where he's kind of shaking it off? So maybe that is the reference. So just thought that was, whatever. Then that gets us to our killer cameos. So I didn't even pick up the DA's name, the Anne Arundel DA, but I liked her. I thought she was pretty good.
Okay.
I liked Marlo's corner guys. I thought that was a nice ensemble. That one guy on the bike just busts out a wheelie.
I know.
Holy crap.
It's watch me do this when I go over there.
That's impressive stuff. And then, I just, hey, strap up. I like that. But of course, there's only one answer. Even though she was in that last episode briefly.
Miss Hazel?
Miss Hazel.
Okay,
I mean, come on. There's no
Hell
way.
yeah.
I mean,
lovely.
Yes. Even
Miss Hazel.
I'm gonna say, I guess, like, clearly I have a soft spot for elderly black women. You know, they almost always get it just by default. But like her line of like, you don't have a solution for what's out or a program.
Yes.
For, oh my
For
God!
what's
Like you
outside my
just
door.
like there's so much in that
I
comic.
know.
It's great stuff. So you know, she really does sell it, and of course, like, and she's unforgettable. I remember her.
I agree with her neat little suit.
So yes, plus that, yeah. I mean, that's exactly so. Now there was a moment where I was like, wouldn't it be kind of hilarious if all of the hoppers that were living there and stuff, like, were like just super deferential to her. Yeah. Like they just like let her, like, oh, you know, hey, everybody calm, let's be cool. Miss Hazel's coming through, and everybody, you know. I feel like that could actually have worked in the community setting, but you know,
maybe
anyway, that's a show for a different day.
Yeah, I could see the hoppers being respectful, but all of the addicts, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, the Chris gets to mansplain to Ellie for the next half hour. The Mr. Nuggets life lesson section. Did you have any for us today?
I don't know that I do.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, here we go. I got 4.
Oh, damn.
So, you know, the first one is, as I've mentioned about this one before, so I'll only mention it briefly. Know who you are. Yeah. Know what resonates with you.
Yeah.
Bunk is a murder police, and he's going to work it.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Right.
I love that concept. And then in that same vein,
and also, what's not going to work for you?
Yes.
Oh, was that where you were going?
No, it wasn't. But that's right.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Cuddy.
Yeah. Oh, 100.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And so, if you recognize that this doesn't work for me,
you gotta know.
You know, and actually, just a little connection to that. I don't think that AI is all it's cracked up to be, but I myself really suck at certain things, and by recognizing the things I suck at and leveraging AI, like, hey, can you write up a draft for how to compare this to that or whatever?
Sure.
It's like the most boring thing I can imagine, just not at all interesting. Yeah, I will do that. So find the things you're not good at and that don't work with you, and then, you know, if there's a way to outsource it somehow, go right ahead and feel no shame about it, because that's who you are.
I agree.
All right. Well, then that's one. First
Okay.
one. I just understand the ripple effects of your actions, and we see these things happen, you know, but like, it's not just, you know, you think when Omar says just one of those cost of doing business things, no, like, people are affected by your death after you die, just stuff like that.
Yes.
So, you know, and it's not just about these most heinous acts of violence, it's everything. Right. You know, whatever it is, everything you do has a ripple effect to some degree. So just make sure you just recognize those things. So, you know, you can't change anything. You can't prevent it from happening, but you can do your best to make sure it has the least amount of impact or positive impact.
Even down to little kids who watch and now are idolizing you for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Once again, the next one is the Stringer Avon thing.
Okay.
It's more Avon, but know where your boundaries are, what your goals are, and make sure you like know where your stopping point is, or, you know, what you're going to do next. Right. And in fact, you know, Ellie and I are already kind of like joking around about what we're going to do after this. So have an idea about what to do next. So Avon doesn't have an idea. It's always, for him, it's going to continue, like, as far as he knows, he's going to continue to fight for corners forever.
Yeah.
Right. And Stringer's like, no, this is what's next for us, is to go into legitimate business with the money that we've made, because we don't need to do drugs, you know, the drug game anymore.
Right.
And Avon doesn't see that. And so,
right.
you know, and actually it'll be the same thing for Marlo, presumably, is that he's going to wear the crown until basically someone kills him or he goes to jail.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be that way forever. So I just thought, you know, it's an important thing. Like, you know, I think for when people are like, career-wise or whatever, I'm going to stay in this job forever. Well, okay. Or are you going to, here's how I'm going to move up to the next thing, or, you know, that kind of thing. So, and then, so that's, you know, not too much complexity there. But then the last one, and this one I feel very strongly about. This is why I saved it for last. Find someone who tells you your shit stinks.
Yeah.
I mean,
think that's pretty important.
Ellie is as skilled an artist as anybody, and one of her critical tools in her tool chest is the critique.
Yes.
Right? So
yeah, I've got critique groups, man. People who tell me that my shit stinks when it stinks.
Yeah.
But they also tell me when something's working. I mean,
Sure,
that's
yeah.
important too. But you got to know when something's not working. You
Yeah.
need somebody to just let you know, because otherwise you're going to think your stuff is God's gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, you know, so here's Stringer trying. Now, of course, you have to be willing to listen, right?
You have to, yes. to listen and potentially change.
Yeah. So, and so, it's funny because, like, you have you have Avon. Stringer's trying to talk to him about how his shit stinks and he's not willing to listen.
Right.
McNulty is not willing to listen.
Right.
And so, so he, on the one hand, he does feel like Teresa will do that for him. But on the other, he's clearly ignoring it on something else. So,
yes, exactly.
We all have our blind spots, but if you can find somebody that you trust to tell you when your shit stinks, it's always good. So,
yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anything you want to add to those?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I enjoyed them. Thank you.
Okay. Very good.
I enjoyed those.
All right. Well,
lessons.
Unless you object, I do feel like the episode did hold up really well.
Yeah.
Being able to segment this kind of behavior, this kind of
For
addiction
sure.
areas, like, can free up the greater good.
Yep.
So it definitely feels like that's what we need to focus on.
Yeah. The political side too, dividing the vote is something that we talk about all the time. All the time still, So, yeah.
Yeah, there's something interesting too about the comment about giving black people a permission to vote for you.
Right.
I feel like there's something really interesting about that because it just kind of goes to show that there is a communal pressure.
Yeah.
So
to vote against or to vote with your communities. Values or lines or way of thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it might not necessarily you're not getting the results of what you so that is worth probably exploring a little bit more, but not for another day or another podcast.
Yes.
So okay, most important thing now.
Oh. God.
What are your predictions, Ellie?
This is hard.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let me see here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before you go in, so I'm gonna give you another go at Teresa and McNulty.
Okay.
Get together again, so
Yeah, but I feel like he's way more into her than she is into him. So
Interesting.
I don't think this is gonna be good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still do think they're gonna do it again.
Okay.
But she's gonna use him and abuse him. Okay, so let me see here. I think, man, now they've lost another soldier, right? They got Slim Charles. They got to hit back at Marlo. I don't know what they're gonna do. I wonder if Avon gets his hands dirty and gets in there himself, even though he just got out of jail. I don't know. Let's put that down. Let's go for it.
Avon will get his hands dirty?
Yeah, Avon gets his hands dirty.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. Hopefully things move along for Stringer with the businesses.
Okay.
with the condos.
Okay.
So condos start getting built.
Okay.
That's right.
That's
kind of a shitty
the
one.
wires north is being pretty boring. That would be really boring.
Let me see here. I don't know that I have anything else for Hamsterdam, really. I think Hamsterdam's going to keep... Well, I keep on saying, I feel like higher ups are going to find out what's going on there and and try to shut it down. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I feel like that will happen.
Okay.
Yeah, people are going to be like, wait a second, what? You're letting people just use drugs in this area? No, you can't do that.
Okay. So I'll put that as it will happen in that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So not necessarily we won't. You'll get credit if it does happen, but not necessarily for next.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
All right. I think Carcetti's going to actively encourage Gray to run for mayor.
Okay.
And he's gonna put it out there.
Okay.
Gray's gonna run for mayor.
Okay. What's happening with Cuddy?
With Cuddy goes to the Deacon, and he starts working on his GED.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes me happy. All right. I think Omar is going to help Bunk find the gun as some kind of, I don't know, to either get Bunk off his, or some kind of trade, some kind of deal.
Okay.
I'll help you find this gun. I know you can't find it if you not necessarily look the other way, but I don't know. Just, I feel like that's something. They didn't talk about the gun in that long conversation they had for no reason. We know that Omar knows that it's an issue for Bunk.
Sure.
Okay. And then I think that Daniels will know that he is now working on Marlo and Stringer because of Kima and McNulty, and he's going to be pissed at them.
Okay.
But they are going to have to do it. They're going to shift gears.
So that's only 8. Are you sure that's only...
Shit. Oh, my God. Is that 8? Okay.
That is amazing. Okay, now I'll let you
Okay. I don't think I have anything
Good
else.
stuff. I mean, what else is there? What other storyline?
I don't know. Bub starts selling black T-shirts also. No, yeah, okay. No, that's all I got.
Okay, well done. I mean, that is a golly,
All right.
holy. I mean, and those are not like, by the way, those are not just like, the unit will will go back to investigating string. Like, those are really specific. So, well done.
We'll
okay,
see.
well, I'm excited.
We'll
I'm excited
see.
for you. Okay, well, that brings us to the end. So, Ellie, as always, thank you very much. We will be back next week to discuss season 3, episode 7, Back Burners.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So no hint for you this time. I was
I don't
listening
know
to the
what
last
that
one.
would
We're
mean.
like Amsterdam. And you're like,
Yeah.
or Hamsterdam. I got it right already. So no luck this time. So anyway, okay. Well, Ellie, thank you as always.
Thank you, Chris.
And we will see you all next week.
Okay, bye, everybody.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time...
That little star right there across from the Dipper, that's north.
You want to go the other way.